Well, when you step outside in central Indiana over the next few days, you're going to notice that the sky is going to look a little eerie because it's going to be a shade of yellow. And if you notice a campfire smell in the air, you're not going to be imagining things. Instead, we're going to be blanketed by a massive plume of wildfire smoke. But here's the crazy part. The fires really aren't a few miles away. Instead, they're thousands of miles to the north. So how big do these fires actually have to be to change the sky in Indiana? I did a little bit of digging into the data, and you'll notice that these numbers, they are staggering. So what started as a relatively quiet wildfire season up here in Canada has completely exploded, and you can see all of the fires there. Within a single 10-day stretch in July, there's been over 300 new fires that have ignited. So right now there's about 3,600 total fires, and they've burned about 2.78 million hectares. So that's about 7 million acres of land. So if we want to put that into perspective, here in the Midwest, that's an area larger than the entire state of Maryland down here, and it's completely scorched. So the bulk of that smoke that we are breathing right now is coming from all of these fires, and a lot of these are just out of control blazes, and they're deep in the wilderness of northern Ontario and the Northern Territories. So basically what's happening here is the jet stream, which we know takes air and it moves, especially since we had a cold front go through, it has now got a little bit of a bend down going towards the southern states. So that's allowing that air to push down into Indiana, and it is bringing these wildfires smoke into the area. And you're going to notice it here in the next couple of days. So if we take a look at the map, you'll see here's Hudson Bay. I also have this same map up here. This is also Hudson Bay. You can see all of this thick, kind of darker smoke that's coming from the wildfire. So this is from 8:40 a.m. this morning, Eastern time. The clouds that you see here are very, very white. You can see kind of the tops of the clouds. That is just rain that's going on under those. And then we had a cold front that went through and ignited some thunderstorms, so you'll see that too. But what I want you to focus on is this large area of smoke here, which corresponds to all the fires here. And then this number of fires corresponds to what you see up here. And just watch how this jet stream is just pulling these straight down. So the jet stream's coming up, coming straight back down this way. And then this is that cold front that just came through today and brought us some much needed rain here in central Indiana. You'll also notice all this smoke is also being funneled down into and has been in Michigan. It's been in Wisconsin, and it's been in Minnesota. So about this point in time, you'll see that the clouds kind of disappear, some of the smoke disappears, and it's only because it's dark out and the satellite can't see it. So behind that front, that's really kind of is what's happening. So what does this mean for our air quality over the next few days? So basically what we can see here is we're looking at a current map, and you'll see that there's a lot of really bad air, especially up here, closer into Canada. If we move down, here's Grand Rapids, very, very, very unhealthy air there. And we're looking mainly at the particulates here. So we're looking at the primary culprit, and that is PM2.5. So that's the fine particulate matter that's less than 2.5 micrometers in diameter. So those little tiny particles, they're small enough that they bypass your respiratory system's natural defenses, and they get really, really deep down into your lungs. So this is basically today. What we'll do is we'll go over the forecast. You can kind of see what it was today. More effects here in Greater Chicago, South Bend, and Fort Wayne. Indianapolis is pretty much okay. But if we start looking at tomorrow, you're going to see that things are going to get worse for everybody, especially going to get worse up in that Chicagoland area again. And then we're going to start really seeing those effects down here in Indianapolis. So the Indiana Department of Environmental Management has officially declared tomorrow an Air Quality Action Day, and that's for most of the state. So while northern Indiana saw the worst of this early on, it hit that really unhealthy purple range. Central Indiana, including this greater Indianapolis area, is going to be pushed into that orange range, and that is unhealthy air for those really sensitive groups. So if you have asthma, respiratory conditions, or just want to avoid that really scratchy throat, you're going to want to stay out of this smoke. Try to limit what you're doing outdoors, keep your windows closed, and stay inside and enjoy, a little bit of TV the next few days. So good news in this is meteorologists are really expecting the wind patterns to shift again by early next week, and that should finally push some of that heavy smoke out east and give our lungs a little bit of a break. So some websites that you can go to. One of those websites is Air Now. Air Now has a lot of different things that you can kind of take a look at, including the maps that I've got here. You can look at that current air, kind of see what's going on. You can also see where those wildfires are, as well as you can take a look at, you'll notice in these boxes they have some smoke outlooks, and so they've got those areas shaded. You can see it's really bad out in the New York area also. Stay safe, enjoy the wild orange sunsets while they last. And if this helped you understand the science behind our weather this week, hit that subscribe button. Talk to you later.